So I saw the balloon, and the dove came out the balloon, but where did the second dove come from?
But you're not getting it, T-Bob. That's where the magic really comes from. You don't know where it came
He made the second dove just appear out of, no, wait, oh, hey, what's up, guys? Sorry. Wake Up Barstool Wednesday. Okay, we got, I almost said Brandon Griffin. We got Brandon Walker, Ebo, Connor Griffin, KB here in the house. We got Mikail Kamara, national champion, coming up on this show. We got to put a bow on the college football season. A lot of NFL talk to as well. Ross Dellinger, college football insider, and all starts now on FS1. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you're having a great morning. I'm excited to have a very good morning. T-Bob Aber, Brandon Walker, Ebo, Connor Griffin, KB, looking extra swole, collar pop there on the desk. Boys, how we feeling this morning, huh? Vibes are great. Brandon, extra curmudgeonly.
He's not cool enough to pull off this jacket.
Yes, he is.
This jacket's sick.
We're just going to do it.
I'm just not sure he's cool enough to pull off this jacket.
I think I'm just going to lean back, and that's going to be my my added enhancement of coolness today.
I will say, and as someone who doesn't know anything about fashion, I wish we had Hannah on today, but unfortunately we don't. But with the faded jeans and the kind of old school white Reebok, he looks pretty cohesive. Like the outfit is cohesive. Whether or not he
I'm sorry, cohesive is the adjective we're going with? Cohesive.
Yeah, I'm saying it all fits. He looks like straight out of what?
Didn't say it didn't
That looks
fit.
like early 90s, late 80s.
I didn't say it didn't fit.
But I don't got that thing on, do I?
All the pieces work together.
I said
Do I got that thing on, or am I cohesive?
I said he's not cool enough to pull it off on a Wednesday morning. That's what I said.
It's well executed enough where he can. I think this.
I got my JMU shirt for
He
when
may look a little
Mikail
childlike, potentially, especially next to you. But no, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
Why don't you answer back next Wednesday with a better jacket?
You want a jacket?
Yeah, I do,
You want a jacket contest?
You wanted to say what you wanted to say.
You want a jacket contest?
yeah.
Say what you wanted to say.
You want a jacket contest with me?
Yeah, I do.
That would have been the most natural way of that happening ever. Like that wasn't even a reach for that to happen.
You want a jacket showdown, okay?
All right, let's get into it, guys. Welcome to the show. Pumped that everybody's here. Let's put a bow on the college football season as Indiana. And by the way, Brandon's going to give us the top 5 national championships. This is a very good one. First good one in a long time that we were treated to. But kind of final thoughts, Indiana winning the national championship. What does it mean for the sport? What is this season? What has it meant to you?
I think it means everything for the sport. For the sport, it means a couple of years ago when we were expanding to a 12-team playoff, we had some doomsayers out there and some naysayers, and they were saying, well, get ready for a bunch of teams that don't deserve to play for a national title. Get ready for Ohio State and Georgia to just win it every year. You're simply going to give them more chances. If they lose twice, they get in, they win it. Now we're 2 years in, we've already seen somebody like Indiana come from nowhere. Not even the back of the pack, not even connected to the pack.
Yeah.
They came from absolutely nowhere and won a national title. In 2 years of this format, we have seen the worst Power 5 program in history rise up and win the national championship. What does it mean 10 years from now? What does it mean 20 years from now? Right now, there are more seats at the table for every program. NIL and transfer portal has spread out the talent and makes them accessible. Anybody can win in college football. It's the first time you could say that in decades. I think it's great.
Yeah, so probably my favorite lesson we learned from this year is kind of along that, right? The proliferation of hope.
Yeah.
Like everybody can start to really hope now and convince themselves in the offseason where we can kind of play around and just imagine things and tell ourselves, oh God, all our dreams are going to come true. I love that. I love the erasure of excuses, right? That's another thing that Indiana has had a hand in. And again, this is not to say that you're going to, because Brandon, you made this point rough, it's a very good point. It's not to say you're going to do what Signetti did. Because, I mean, mixed in there is a hefty dose of just unreal talent and ability above other people, right?
Yeah.
But it is to say that you should go for it. And you have no limits or no excuses to not go for it. From the Miami perspective, boys, one of the lessons that I love here, and I want to ask y'all if y'all think that this should maybe lead in part to an expanded playoffs. one of the lessons that I feel like I learned here is that I love the fact that teams now have more margin of error to find themselves and reach their full potential. Because when Miami lost those games, they were a team that did not know themselves. They still thought they were throw it deep, take advantage of the receivers, going to throw it all over the place. And then they just said, oh, wait, no, we're a conservative, play great defense, pound people in a submission team. And by the end of the year, like, is there any doubt that Miami was the second best team in the country?
No.
Right?
No. The Miami team that played in the national championship game the other night was national championship good.
Yes.
The Miami team that played in October was not that good. So they did find themselves, but they also won a game against Notre Dame to start the season. So they
were always good. You don't come out of nowhere. They were always good, but that was a different identity team than the one that we saw here.
Sure.
It's kind of fascinating to hold those games up against one another.
People would say, countering to your point, that the regular season was diminished because of that.
Well, that's what people always say.
But doesn't it almost make the regular season matters more than ever in different ways now than it did before?
And that's my only point in highlighting that. It's not to say that criticism goes away, but it's a lot like when I was talking about NIL, where yes, NIL has a lot of problems, but one thing it has done is keep talented football players in college. All of these issues are not 100% good or bad. Like, there's always going to be positive ripple effects, negative ripple effects.
If it's a race to 4 teams, Miami is eliminated in the first week of October.
Yeah.
If it's a race to 12 teams, Miami has hope. Miami has a reason to put everything back
keep
together.
playing.
Races to 12 teams eliminates 80% of the teams by November 1st. This way, keep playing. Keep going.
Yes, exactly.
Keep digging. Keep fighting. And that's what Miami did.
And I think it's also what makes what Indiana did so just like insane, because what we saw last year with Ohio State, at least I thought it was going to be very indicative of the future of college football, where you would see these teams that would slip up along the way. They'd have these inexplicable losses, but they would find themselves, they'd evolve, and then they'd hit their stride at the right moment. And Miami did a very similar version of that this year. But the fact that Indiana somehow, throughout the course of playing pretty much an entire NFL season, 16 games, theoretically, they could have played 17, but whatever the case is, they were able to sustain all of that level of excellence, that level of detail, and go perfect and be the first 16-0 team really ever. I mean, obviously, I know that there was a team back in the 1800s that did it, but the modern era,
1894 Yale.
I never thought we would see it again, and yet Indiana was able to do it. It's
We've assigned a lot of absolutes. Connor was like, I thought this from the 1 year of college football, 12-team play. We assigned a lot of absolutes to a system that's been around for 2 years, and Brandon talked about it. It's a system that gives a lot of people chairs at the table, and it's a game of musical chairs around the table, because every year you're going to get up, you're going to go to the transfer portal, and those 12 teams are going to change year in and year out. Yes, you'll have your Blue Bloods, your Georgias, your Alabamas, your Miami will be there, of course, but it's a fresh start every year for everyone, and it's pretty awesome to see how even 1 year or 2 years in, it can change a lot.
Well, and so it reminds me of like the old Littlefinger quote, which I think actually may come from like Machiavelli, which like the chaos is a ladder idea. And there's so much chaos, so much change that we're still figuring out best practices. And that's what I love too, is because every new year that we get into this is new data from which to pull and try to determine how we're going to navigate these things going forward. What do y'all think? We're having a very high-minded conversation about all of this.
Sure.
Does that weigh in on your belief in a 16-team playoff versus a 12-team playoff, or would you say it's irrelevant?
I think it's irrelevant at 12 and 16.
Okay.
At 16, you can kind of correct a little bit of the mistakes of 12. Like at 16, if you have a world where there's 2 G5s, it doesn't really affect it as much as 12. But 12 and 16, here's the thing. We shouldn't get bogged down in searching for the perfect number, because it does not exist. Some years, like last year, you have 7 worthy teams. Last year, we didn't have enough. This year, we probably had 15 that could have been in the 12-team playoff. So we had too many this year, not enough last year. It's going to change from year to year. College football changes from year to year. So just pick a number, whether it's 12 or 16, and roll with it. I don't think the actual number itself matters that much.
Well, also the whole discussion of like, well,
the bye week.
Well, that's absolutely going to come into it, but I don't know if that's necessarily as big of a point of emphasis as it should be. But people using Miami as like, oh, Miami was almost left out of the playoff, and they made it all the way to the national championship. Do we need to expand the playoff because of a team like Miami? To your point, there's always going to be a team on the edge, and especially the more that you expand the field and you lower the standard you lower the barrier to entry, yeah, there are going to be plenty of teams that theoretically, had they gotten in, yeah, they could have made a real run. I don't see this, even though it was a great effort by Miami to make it all the way to a national championship as kind of a sleeper team, I don't see this as rationalization of why we need to go further and further.
The biggest deal right now that we're dealing with in college football, or the biggest deal to come out of this, which I think is great, for 100 years, for 120 years, this sport has been run by blue bloods, by 6 to 8 programs that are always at the top, your Ohio States, your Alabamas, your Georgias, and it has changed some throughout the years. Florida State broke through 30 or 40 years ago. Miami broke through 30 or 40 years ago. But it's always been hard to get in that group and stay in that group. Now, you don't have to be in that group. You don't have to be in that group at all. And the Blue Bloods are fighting to stay alive, and they're fighting to keep their spot. I'm anxious to see what the Blue Bloods do to counter this. How do they fight back? We see LSU spending, what, $50 million on their roster, $40 million, something like that. Like, the Blue Bloods are going to fight back hard here, but you no longer have to be one of 8 teams to win this national championship. I think that's great.
Well, and so let's get into another conversation that is relevant to this show and really the sport as a whole. Right, is one of the more fascinating parts about this sport has been the conference wars that have taken place through the years, which in a day and age of college football that is controlled by television, have now in many ways transposed into a television network war. With ESPN kind of backing the SEC, we have Fox backing the Big Ten in many ways, and here we sit, 3 Big Ten national champions, 3 separate Big Ten national champions 3 years in a row. When you combine that with all the bowl game data for the last couple of years that SEC teams have desperately been trying to hand wave away, I think it is inarguable fact that the Big Ten is the premier conference in college football right now.
Yeah, it's been that way for a couple of years. The Big Ten is the best conference in college football right now. And not only do they have 3 teams, because this is what set the SEC apart when it was having that big, long 2-decade run. People thought it was just Alabama and Georgia, but Auburn got one in there, LSU got a couple in there, Florida got a couple in there. There were 5 or 6 teams that won national titles. Now the Big Ten, they're on top of the sport. They got 3 in 3 years, and you still got Oregon in the holster. They haven't won one yet, and they could. Penn State's going to build back up, so they could, we could see 4 or 5 Big Ten teams win a national title. The SEC puts more money than anybody in the country into their product. They have the commercial with the young lady on Destin's Beaches saying it just means more. Well,
all-time good commercial.
Now it's time to prove it, guys. Like, you've lost your perch. The SEC has lost its perch on college football. It's time to go get it back if you want it, because the Big Ten is the big dog right now.
Better commercial, the Big Ten Maps commercial. I mean, not even close.
Nobody, dude, the Big Ten Map commercial is a good commercial. It in no way even comes close to mirroring the pop culture impact of It Just Means More.
All right, whatever you say.
It Just Means More has been memed to death. That's years. Like, you want to talk about staying power? That's been around for over half a decade. Connor, did you see the Anakin Padme Penn State meme?
I did, yeah. Very accurate.
What?
No. We're not doing Star Wars and Star Trek crap today.
Okay.
We're not doing it.
So, but the concept is funny. Somebody tells Connor before somebody tells Connor before the season, hey, you know a third Big Ten team's going to win the national championship this year. A different one. And of course, Connor, it's Penn State, right? It's going to be Penn State? It's what we all thought.
Yeah.
And maybe that's my biggest takeaway from this year in 26 is I just love how unbelievably wrong we all were in our pregame analysis from a team standpoint, from a player standpoint, who we thought the best teams and players are going to be to where they ended up. I think that's very exciting. I would much rather be wrong and watch things unfold than to be prescient, because that's when things start to feel very stale and boring.
It's just not how you say that word.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
How would you say it?
Prescient.
Oh, is it prescient?
It's prescient. It's not
yeah,
prescient.
that actually sounds
Kyle, is
right.
it prescient or prescient?
Yeah, it's prescient sounds right. I'll cede this one.
Okay, all right.
That's on me.
Prescient.
I won that battle without even a fight.
Well, once you said it, I was like, oh God, he's right. Like Ricky from Trailer Park
I have
Boys.
a question about college football this year.
Yeah, hit me.
Indiana just went 16-0. The camera was
Okay,
on
2019 LSU. I'm glad you brought it. No, I'm just kidding.
the cameras just found their coach every single play because apparently looking like this is meme-worthy. I don't know. It was just his face. Anyway, Signetti is great. Mendoza was great. He gives the politicians answers. How long will they be the cute underdog story that we all smile at?
Oh, it's over. It's over. It was a hell of a run. I love cheering for them.
But now they're the evil empire already?
They're not the evil empire necessarily, but they're not cute anymore.
Okay.
You can't go 16-0, be a wagon, dominate all these good teams, and still, like, for 2 years, dominate everybody, really. So, no, the underdog story is dead. Like it was very fun, but I look forward to actually rooting against them in some instances now.
I mean, they've already got their transfer quarterback for next year, Josh Hoover. They've already got Nick Marsh from Michigan State. Like, they're already reloading.
I was going to say the Warriors, the Steph Curry Warriors were the fun underdog story that everyone loved for about 2 years, and then Kevin Durant came in. Now they're the evil empire. Maybe it takes them adding a bunch of very good players in the board. Maybe like Jeremiah Smith comes to Indiana, and then you're like, oh, it's these guys. These are the bad guys. Mark Cuban's the bad guy.
In your
I think it's just a function of winning.
Is every story today going to be NBA related?
No, we can make it.
You just bring it back to the NBA.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, the 83 Pistons. This guy.
It's also going back to what we're talking about with like how the SEC is going to counter and everything. I am really curious to see what Indiana does in the portal, because the natural assumption is, well, now they're going to get so much more money, and now they're going to be getting all these 5 stars, and they're going to be doing all of this. But so much of their success this year was taking lesser talent, but talent that fit the culture and fit the scheme and fit the overall machine that Kirk Signetti was trying to run. And that's something that I don't know if you could replicate that at a different school. Like, all these SEC schools, I imagine, are going to be putting up so much money now to try and replicate what Indiana did. But the money was not necessarily what made Indiana. So I don't know how that plays.
Well, and so I want to explore this a bit more, kind of roster construction. We got Brandon's top 5 national championships of the playoff era coming up. Don't go anywhere, guys. Wake Up Barstool. Hey, remember, Ask WUB.
Look how beautiful.
You go on Twitter, hashtag Ask WUB. We'll answer them at the end of the show. You can ask us about anything. More Wake Up Barstool here on FS1.
You see this winter storm hitting the south?
Exploding trees. Oh, no, exploding trees. So we had some fun conversation continuing there during the commercial break that I want to get to. But let's start here. Indiana's run, magical, awesome, worst team ever, now the best team. I love the fact, side note as well, we're talking about going 16-0 and whatnot, how crazy it is. I love the fact that it comes not even a year after Steve Sarkisian, who's in control of Texas, who has the most potential in the world, said, I don't think we'll ever see a 16-0 team again. That's that self-limiting behavior, Steve. That's what we're talking about, okay? You got to shift your mindset. Signetti don't play those games. Anyway, if y'all look across the country right now, do you see another school with the potential to be that next Indiana-esque storyline? Is there a diamond in the rough school that has the ability to blow us away?
I guess I'll say one, but the answer is all of them. The answer is all of them. All it takes. No, it's hard.
Let's go, Brandon.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, but think about the question.
Right.
Take the time machine back 2 years. Nobody's saying Indiana has potential. Nobody in the world saying hire the right guy, give him the resources. Does the right guy exist? Is there another Signetti? I don't know. My mind goes right to Oklahoma State. Right? Oh. My mind goes to an Oklahoma State who money had supported that program before, which I know that booster is no longer there. But
shout out Boone.
Everybody's got T-Boone.
Shout out T-Boone.
I
should have known that.
Everybody's got alums with money and everything. Yeah. But it takes the right guy, the right quarterback. Oklahoma State hired a new guy, brought in a quarterback.
You got Mestamaker.
I just think you just take a lottery ticket on somebody like Oklahoma State, but what's stopping Arkansas from doing it? What's stopping South Carolina from doing it? Nothing. It's all about, it isn't, is there a program out there that can do it? That's the wrong question. The question is there another coach that can do it? Is there another Signetti anywhere in the world?
I do think we're maybe being a little... maybe we're undervaluing some of the natural advantages that Indiana has a bit.
They're not using them.
The size of the alumni base.
The size of the alumni. This isn't an expensive roster. I know that Mark Cuban's over there on the sideline, right? But this, when you compare the expensive nature of this roster to anybody else, this isn't that. They found 23, 24-year-old guys, which a lot of teams are doing. Miami did it. they found the right guys, plugged them in, coached them perfectly. It's the most perfectly coached team in the country. So you got to have the great coach, you got to have the right guys, and money's not going to buy that.
Quick Oklahoma State note again, because I like pointing out silver linings. How about the story of Drew Mestemaker?
Yeah,
guy never played quarterback in high school. He's a walk-on, and now he's making almost $4 million a year. Why? Because he earned it. Not because everybody said he was going to be good. He got paid out of high school because he went and he proved it and he earned it. I love that. Connor, you got a team?
I don't have like an underdog team that were like a diamond in the rough or anything like that, but I look back at what Indiana did last year where they came to national prominence and then they got embarrassed on a national stage in the playoff. But then they go to the transfer portal and they get a quarterback and they upgrade. Not saying that Rourke last year was not a good quarterback. But
yeah, he was good, but
they upgrade.
Number one pick in the draft.
Heisman Trophy winner, everything. And then they come back the next year and they're just this dominant team and they're better. It's funny because it's a totally different approach where this team is spending a lot of money as is. But Texas Tech was a team this year that had this great run. They get to the playoff. They clearly are outmatched. But that was really their first taste of what it is like to be at that stage. And so if they come back this next year, they went out and get Sorsby, maybe that's an upgrade and it's a similar formula. But again, that roster was spending a ton of money. And
no, it's a good parallel, though. It's a good parallel.
And Joe McGuire's probably watching right now.
Exactly.
Love Joey. Love you, Coach. You the man.
Coach McGuire.
Ebo, what about you, babe?
Well, to Brandon's point about spending money, anyone can spend money. Not everyone can spend money wisely. You think of the Moneyball A's or how the Tampa Bay Rays have competed. I do wonder if the future of college football is in more affluent programs or schools. So your Cals of the world, your Stanford. These schools that have large alumni bases that are wealthy in tech.
Stanford has more money than any school on the planet.
Sure, yeah, exactly. So it's do those schools turn around and go, we want to become football schools? Is that the future of college football where the more traditionally better academic schools are producing better football teams?
I mean, if Andrew Luck can't get Stanford going, then I don't know if anybody will, because it seems like he's kind of galvanized that base already. I think a fun one to think about is Kentucky. And even down to, this isn't a great point, but it kind of rhymes narratively, but even down to being this traditional basketball power that's fallen on hard times. They're so desperate for some success. You saw how addicted they got to football when they even got a hint of football success in the Stoops era. We know they have money. That they're willing to commit. And the thing is, I don't know about Will Stein. I think I really like Will Stein. In fact, one thing I'm worried about with Oregon is how are they going to be in the post-Will Stein era? Because he was so good with Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel and Dante Moore. Can the next guy at Oregon replicate that? And can Will Stein bring that to Kentucky? And if they can, then that could be a team that could quickly climb this ladder.
I'm working on a theory, and I haven't got all the way through it yet, because I asked this question about Indiana the other day. If they win the national title, are their days as a basketball school over with?
Yeah.
Does it immediately flip? And the theory is expanded to this. Do baskeball schools exist? Or are they simply schools who haven't had football success?
No,
great question.
I've been on that for years. I mean, American football is in our blood as Americans.
Right.
You only become like Auburn. You think Auburn wants to view themselves as a basketball school, or you even see the Cope from Alabama fans. Right. They're all about Nate Oates and basketball now. Florida trying to convince themselves they loved that basketball championship.
They won 3 national titles.
Just as much as they loved Urban Meyer. Not true. Once you get a little taste of that pigskin, it's the most heady drug in all of American sports.
The only team that I think could win a national title in football and then leave the parade and simply go watch a basketball practice, I think Duke. I think Duke is forever going to be a basketball. It doesn't feel like there would be a switch.
Yeah, maybe so.
But no, I think UNC would switch too. I think every basketball school is simply a football school that hasn't happened yet.
What about Gonzaga?
Well, considering they don't have a football team, it would be tough.
What if they just popped one up tomorrow? You could just pop one out tomorrow.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So the general consensus is that Curt Signetti is this once-in-a-generation unicorn of a coach who's done everything perfectly. Isn't it contradictory to assume that you can just replicate perfection?
Well, so that is
what I said.
Yeah, that's what Brandon was saying. And he's right? Because yes, the talent of Signetti is obvious. But again, I don't think you'll reach the heights of Signetti. I still think you can try to take from the blueprint in terms of trying to be the best that you can. Like one thing I think we're seeing is, like, as we try to suss out best practices, instead of going and rating 5 stars off of Ohio State's roster that haven't played yet, let's go get the group of 5 guy who's an All-American or All-Conference. Let's go get Trinidad Chambliss, who won a national championship on the Division II level. Like let's get guys who have proven at the level that they're at, and then let them get the promotion and see what they do. And that even goes to the coaches. Like, Signetti won every level he was on. He wasn't a major coordinator, but he won as a head coach everywhere, and that paid dividends. So I'm with you. Like, it's flawed if you think you're going to go 16-0 and write the story, but I still think you can learn some lessons there. Before we get to Brandon's top 5 national championships, there's ice storms heading all over across the country, right?
Yeah.
And I was shocked. This morning when I woke up. Okay, hold on. We have an emergency Ask WUB here. Let's see what this is about. Richard Molinelli. Shout out Richard. Shout out Dick. Is Pat Fitzgerald the Curt Signetti of 2026?
No. Easy answer, and I can't believe they stopped the momentum of the show to ask.
We were going to talk about something so special.
We were going to talk about something so awesome,
Ice
and they
storms.
thought that Dick Molinelli's question about Pat Fitzgerald. No. And crazy interjection.
Great coach. Not Curt Signetti.
Move a producer down the bench or something.
I still don't know how I feel about Pat Fitzgerald, because, like,
He'll be fine, but like give him no, he's not Curt Signetti. If he was Curt Signetti, he would have been Curt Signetti already.
Yeah. I mean, because it ended really bad at Northwestern.
Yeah.
Like whatever scandal you want to say.
He's
like,
a
they
good
weren't
coach.
winning.
He's a good coach. He's not. I mean, it's a once in a, not even a generation. It's a once in a century guy so far.
Anyway, so Arctic storms moving in everywhere. I'm new to this portion of the country. Apparently, it's going to be like negative 13 degrees on Friday, which just blows my mind. But it doesn't blow my mind as much as waking up and seeing exploding tree warnings.
Yeah.
It is supposed to be so cold that trees are going to spontaneously combust. We put our best guy on it, KB. You have to help me out. First off, what can you tell us about the exploding tree phenomena? And secondly, as Brandon said, they told you to what?
There was a tweet that said that quote tweeted the original one, exploding trees this weekend. It said, please be prepared, take this seriously. And I don't know how you prepare yourself for exploding trees.
What are the best practices to get ready for exploding trees?
So at first you're going to want to try to avoid loitering near the impending trees that are about to detonate. So don't hide under them, or don't stand next to them if you think they're about to explode. Maybe try to get into a solid building. The big key here is to not stand next to the trees that are about to explode.
It sounds like that's the only point of preparation.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see this tweet. I have no idea what we're talking about.
It's a little bit above us, but in like the Midwest, there's something about the temperature changing so drastically.
I tried to avoid climbing the trees or a tire swing.
What if I planned a picnic with my best gal in the shade of a tree this weekend?
I would try to avoid the picnic under the tree. Maybe go about a mile away.
Go miles from trees.
Is there a way to identify a tree that's about to explode? Is there?
You start vibrating.
Does it start ticking?
Comically?
You know.
What kind of trees you been hanging out with?
Hey now.
That was just a basketball team, Connor.
How much force does a tree explode with?
So if a tree gets covered with just like an inch of ice, like that's adding hundreds and hundreds of pounds of force. The branches will bend, the fibers will stretch, internal stress will build, sap will freeze and expand. And
look at that!
Boom!
I don't want anybody to get hurt this weekend.
All of Minnesota's going to explode.
I don't want anybody to get hurt this weekend. But if someone out there could provide us some actual videos of exploding trees, I would love it. Please tweet at us. Ask WUB. Tweet us your exploding tree videos.
This is a real account?
Yeah, Max Velocity.
Yeah, Max
Velocity.
Okay.
I've
never seen exploding trees.
I am deep on weather Twitter, and every time I refresh it, I get something that says AZ57 model projects this, and I'm like, I don't know what this means, but it looks terrifying.
Here's the thing. I think everybody's deep on weather Twitter. Weather Twitter knows how to take over.
Oh.
They absolutely can take over. And I've been looking at models for 2 days.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to read the models.
No. Well, I mean, the thing about weather is, it gets memed as being a bad point of conversation, but I've always viewed it as the most comfortable, shared human touchstone that we all have.
It's universal.
Like, it's so nice to be able to make small talk with somebody that you don't really know what to say just about the weather. It's fantastic. Ever since I moved up here, it's what I've used constantly to spur elevator conversations, Uber rides. I've lived 36 years in the South, never done winter before.
It's all I've talked to Kyle about for 6 years.
Yeah.
See?
We've never advanced past
and it's still going, and it works perfectly.
I'm quite good at small talk.
Okay, actually, so we went a little too long exploding trees there. So I know you're all waiting for
So I
it.
lost my top 5?
You for now, we're going to circle back around to
Worth
the
it.
top 5 national championships of the college football playoff era. But first, coming up next, I believe it's time for my favorite segment every week.
Yep.
Brandon Walker's
I'm not getting
favorite
bumped
segment.
for this.
Yep. No, you're getting bumped for this,
Connor
buddy.
Griffin's Griff-ins and outs. What are we taking to next week with us? What are we leaving behind? Coming up next on Wake Up Barstool. Welcome back, Wake Up Barstool on FS1, and it's time for Connor Griffin's Griff-ins and outs. Connor, what are we taking forward into next week with us, and what are we leaving behind?
It's a great question, T-Bob. The first one, it's maybe the easiest in ever. There was something in the air that night. The stars are bright. Fernando Mendoza. The hype is at an all-time high. The motion he has is astronomical levels. And it was just revealed. He won a Heisman Trophy. He's going to be the first overall pick in the NFL draft. It was just revealed that Lil Uzi Vert, the only person he follows on Instagram is Fernando Mendoza. These two established a good relationship. Lil Uzi Vert was at the national championship game, and now this is just the ultimate flex for Fernando.
Lil Uzi Vert.
Who is he?
Rapper.
Could you pick him out of a lineup?
I only can because I saw the video from before the national championship, and he has like the cheek rings, nose ring. He's got kind of a zesty aura to him. I kind of like how off kilter he seems to be.
Rapper.
Rapper.
It do not matter.
It do not matter.
You know,
This is just a great story.
Maybe lost in all of this is, so what, Fernando's a big Lil Uzi Vert fan?
Yeah, and he said months ago, hey, Lil Uzi Vert was in an interview. It was like, if we make it to the national championship game, like, you got to come. And then sure enough, Lil Uzi Vert was there. Now they're boys, and it's a great relationship.
But I mean, in this, aren't we seeing that there's a little bad boy to Mendoza?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He cursed.
He knows how to be with the boys.
Yeah.
He knows how to have some brews with the boys.
So Fernando's absolutely in.
He's also a LinkedIn demon.
Yes, and he's a LinkedIn demon.
Yeah, all that was true, right?
Yeah, so very, very big on Fernando Mendoza right now. It's only going to continue moving forward.
Is it going to continue, or is he going to fade into obscurity in the NFL? Because NFL fans have the patience and leniency of like a toddler, an itchy toddler.
But now
they're not gonna. If he throws 2 interceptions in his first start, then he's gonna be the Patrick Star of the NFL. No one's going to respect him.
No, KB, don't get me wrong. Like, absolutely, everybody's waiting in the rings to tear him down. But he's still going to be super relevant because there's not another quarterback in the draft. Like with Dante Moore going back to Oregon, he is the #1 pick without a doubt.
Let's just be clear. You're in on the Heisman winner who just led a 16-0 national championship.
I'm in on the hype and the motion that this guy's got aura. The guy's got aura. It's only going to continue.
Really taking
God
a leap
forbid
there,
a sincere
Connor.
white boy get a little motion.
Yeah, exactly.
Brandon.
My first out. I'm curious to see your guys' take on this. It's the national championship game end zones. For whatever reason,
Yeah, why are they black?
ever since this game started with the 14 playoff back in 2014, they black out the end zones instead of using the school's primary colors.
Yeah.
I've never liked this. You look at like the Rose Bowl, how they have the primary colors in the end zones, and it's this picturesque and the contrast of the different colors. We just go all black for these end zones, and I've never understood why we do that.
So in this scenario, it would be crimson on one end and orange on the other. I think that would be much better.
It would be awesome. Like, and then they're not even using the real like fonts for the schools. It's just block letters. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, I guess I'm at a bit of an impasse with myself here. because you're right, but I don't know that I care.
I care so much. I care deeply.
Unfortunately.
There's so much that the national championship gets wrong. This is the easiest fix. Just fix the field.
Layup, huh?
Yeah, it's a layup.
What's the number two?
What's
What's the number two thing that national championship gets wrong?
Where it falls on the calendar, the fact that the NFL playoffs totally overshadow it, the fact that it's on a Monday, all of it. It's terrible.
I really liked the national anthem the other night. I thought that was great.
It was good. My second it's the IUP pipeline. There is a town in Pennsylvania called Indiana, Pennsylvania, host to Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Shout out to Kate, by the way. Kate's, I believe she dropped out of there, but she went there. And
alum.
Yeah. They have hosted now the most recent Super Bowl champion and the most recent college football national champion.
So Sirianni was an IUP
Sirianni was there from 2006 to 2008 in his coaching career. It was where Curt Signetti got his first head coaching gig, I believe, back in 2011. So IUP, if you want to become either a national championship winning head coach or a Super Bowl head coach, go to IUP, get your career started there.
Shout out the PSAC. I'm more, and I don't know if KB is very familiar with the PSAC.
Yeah, my female sister ran women's cross country there.
Okay.
Wow.
Female sister.
I don't know if the female was needed qualifier there, but probably could have been inferred from context clues.
The PSAC.
More of a slippery rock guy.
Yeah? That's you?
I'm trying to put my son through potty training right now, and it's terrible.
That's where you went from.
I hear IUP, all I can think about is my stupid little 3-year-old trying to form words and trying to pee in the toilet, and all he wants is the freaking lollipops. I don't even think he cares about not pissing his pants. It's brutal.
Terrible.
Yeah,
Anyway, Connor.
It is tough. My next out, it's the Charlie Batch disrespect.
Charlie caught a stray.
He absolutely caught a stray the other day where C.J. Stroud was having this horrific playoff performance, and somebody decided to say C.J. Stroud has the best defense in the world and has regressed to Charlie Batch. Rightfully, Charlie Batch was offended. This is a Super Bowl champion, and we're just talking about him as if he's chopped liver.
Wait a minute. Calling him a Super Bowl champion.
He's a Super Bowl champion.
When did he become, which one?
The Steelers in 2000 when they beat the Seahawks.
Oh, okay. Super Bowl champion Charlie Batch.
He didn't win a Super Bowl as a quarterback. Somebody has to be the guy that when you say, oh, all of a sudden this quarterback is bad, so he's this. Might as well be Charlie Batch. Why not?
Because he was mostly a backup for a good chunk of his career.
Because when he was a starter, he wasn't what?
No, he got injured. He had injuries. He's a Super Bowl champion. Go to his reference.
I'm sure he's a great American.
Was he?
Somebody's got to be this guy.
Was he a really good baseball player too?
What?
Did I make that up?
I don't know. Was he?
Probably.
A lot of guys are.
Shout out to Charlie Batch. We share the same birthday. Anyway.
Oh, there it is.
I know. Charlie Batch.
We love you, Chuck.
Yeah.
Insane.
My next in, it's Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park is
Band?
in.
Really?
The band. Yes, absolutely. It was revealed. Texans linebacker Azeez Al-Shire said that the Texans defense, they have White Boy Wednesdays when they're in the weightlifting room.
Yeah.
And so they'll play all this old like rock, and they were playing Lincoln Park. And Azeez Al-Shire said that he adopted the mantra of "In the end" by Lincoln Park, where in the end it doesn't even matter, just go out there and ball. And of course, it didn't work out for him.
Unfortunately, it might have been a little too true for the Texans this year because the defense played incredible.
Yeah,
and in the end, it did not matter.
I'm just saying.
Do y'all want to name this show White Boy Wednesday?
We could technically.
Well, kind of white boy every day, unfortunately. Yeah. But yes, we could.
Tasteful nihilism, it sounds like, from the Texans defense.
Yes.
I like that.
I just think the fact that they're already such a ferocious unit, and now they've discovered the Lincoln Park power and everything like that, like they're just going to get so jazzed up. I think that it spells doom for opposing offenses the rest of the.
This is interesting because I wonder how prevalent White Boy Wednesday is because, I mean, shoot, I played college football now 15 years ago, but we had White Boy Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
And it'd be like AC/DC,
Never knew White Boy
Led
Wednesday was
Zeppelin.
such a thing.
Yeah. You finally get a little rock in the weight room.
Yeah. So moving forward, 2026 season, watch out for the Texans.
God, Lincoln Park.
I would argue White Boy
collab.
Wednesday is a bigger deal than Lincoln Park.
Maybe. Okay, so that could be an in as well.
Sure.
My last out, we talked about Charlie Batch disrespect. It's Bronny James disrespect. This guy just got 2 votes to be an all-star starter. So for everybody who's slandering his name, watch out. 2 votes. on top of Isaac Jones getting some votes as well. Isaac Jones, of course, we all know. And then Jason Tatum also got 1 vote.
Is the disrespect that he didn't get enough votes?
No, the disrespect is that the disrespect is that people, they clown this guy forever, but here he is getting votes for the All-Star game. So be careful what you say. Go ahead, Brandon.
I would argue that things should be out as Bronny James respect. Why on earth is he getting 2 votes for the All-Star game? That should be out.
No,
somebody being performative and saying, "Look how funny I am. I'm going to vote for Bronny James." That's stupid.
That's some accreditation to Bronny James's name.
They should have to publish that.
Yeah, those were anonymous votes, and I think there was a witch hunt for people like on Twitter to try and find who voted for Bronny James. I'm curious.
As well, there should be.
I'm curious to see where
if
that
you're wasting your vote like that. Why should you have a vote?
Someone probably thought they were voting for LeBron James. To be fair,
maybe.
Can I do a
yes?
Can I do a celebrity shot in? Okay.
Just call yourself a celebrity?
No, like beer pong, celebrity shot.
Go ahead.
Connor Griffin, Conte Connor. You know what I think's in? Dating shows.
Oh my God.
Look at this, guys. Look at this.
Also, the caption on this was crazy.
The first
do you
line
like
is
pictures? Do you like a safe, boring man? Did you go to Penn State? Do you love Star Wars? Fill out the Google form in our bio for the chance to go on a date with Connor Griffin.
Yeah, we're doing a Yak dating show. I am the subject, and I'll make a fool out of myself, but we'll have a fun time. So if there are any
now we say in this, go on a date with Connor Griffin. Here's the thing: if you go through this entire competition and you sit with him, he's going to fall in love with you. So this might as well be marry Connor.
I will have a very hard time cutting you off, and I will absolutely take.
Are you going to bring them to the bistro?
That's a very exclusive club.
Kyle, is it sad how far the Yak has fallen if we're doing this?
How many applicants have you gotten?
I think so far like 85 or 90.
Whoa, okay.
And now we bring it to the FS1 for all the people watching this in the airport, for all the people watching this at their gyms.
That'll knock it up to 86.
Yeah, feel free. Feel free.
Did you see the question that was missing?
What?
We'll talk about that.
Is it restricted to females only?
Technically, the application is not, but it's a female. Only females, I think, will be.
I think that's pretty small-minded of you.
I had some dudes hit me up like, "Hey, I really just want to hang."
Yeah, like what if you all become like really good friends?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But anyway, Yak dating show should be exciting.
There we go, Connor Griffin. If you want to date Connor, guys, go ahead and fill out the form.
Yeah,
guys. Coming up next, it's time for Ebo's Teensy Tiny Baseball segment as the Hall of Fame writers are up to their old bull junk once again.
Wait a second. We're still bumping my top 5 for Ebo now?
For Ebo's Teeny Tiny Baseball segment. Yep.
Okay, well, I hate it here.
Yep. More Wake Up Barstool on the other side. Time to talk some baseball with our baseball expert, that's Ebo. Teeny Tiny Baseball segment. Hall of Fame class, Ebo.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I just want to pay tribute to some of the greats that fell off the ballot. Manny Ramirez, Nick Markakis. It's sad that baseball doesn't want to put 2 of the greatest right fielders in baseball history into the Hall of Fame, but that's how it goes. We do get 2 center fielders, though. One long overdue, one potentially hypocritical of the baseball writers put in with
like
Carlos Beltran. Yeah. But yeah, I think both are very deserving players. Both have probably benefited from defensive metrics and advanced metrics becoming more prevalent. But
it's insane that Andrew Jones wasn't in the Hall of Fame.
It is very insane.
It boggles my mind. I mean, 250 career hitter, 10 Gold Gloves in a row, best defensive center fielder maybe ever, over 400 home runs, over 1,300 ribbies. Like, what took so long?
I think the fact that it was basically an 8 to 9 year peak that was awesome, and then he didn't have that extended success. But if you're still going over those nine years where he was awesome, we're talking about one of the 15, 10 best defensive players in the history of baseball.
And maybe it's
regardless
close to my heart because I grew up such a Braves fan, but he was just the most exciting player to watch, and he was so cool.
Yeah, I mean, and
that's the least cool Andrew Jones catch they could have shown.
Yeah, that was great.
He has a million cool catches, and you made him look old and unathletic.
That was great. Yeah,
I've seen him climb walls. He used to
50 home run guy too. I mean, like the peaks were very, very high and long sustained defensive success. Beltran is interesting. This is a debate for you guys.
Yeah,
Beltran, part of the reportedly a part of a mastermind, potentially him and Alex Cora, in the Astros cheating scandal with the trash cans. That was his last year in baseball as a player. And he gets in despite the cheating.
Yeah, I don't care.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't care about it one way, but the other way is the writers are considering themselves the last line of defense and keeping the cheaters out, the steroid guys out. So now they go ahead and say, "Oh, you're cheating? That's fine. Get on in here." So it's one or the other. If you're really looking at these voters, why is one form of cheating okay and one form of cheating is bad? But that being said, I think Beltran's a slam dunk Hall of Fame baseball player.
I hate the Hall of Fame voters. I don't have time here in this segment to decry them. Hopefully I can a bit later on. But yeah, they are so far up their own ass, they can't see the sun. Hour 2 of Wake Up Barstool coming up. Look, we got Brandon Walker's top 5 college football national championships. Sure. We'll talk to a national champion, Mikail Kamara. And we got Ross Dellinger coming on. Don't go anywhere. More Wake Up Barstool right here on FS1.
Let's just replace Ross Dellinger with my segment.
Oh, look at everybody at work.
Yeah. Hey, Ben.
Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. Okay, guys, it is time for Brandon Walker's top 5 college football. Now, what?
I don't like you.
No. Sorry, guys. We got Ross Dellinger. That's right. We got college football insider Ross Dellinger, Yahoo Sports. Nobody's more plugged in than Ross. Ross, what's happening, babe? How we doing? You still in Miami? It looks like beautiful weather down there.
Yeah, it's a little cloudy today and very, very windy. It's like a 20, 25 miles per hour winds, man. It's crazy right now. But hey, it could be worse. It's 70 degrees out, right?
Yeah, we certainly feel bad for you with the wind.
Yeah.
All right, Ross. There are a million different storylines to play. I could ask you a million different questions, but I want to go a bit of a lazy route here, and I want to ask you, what story, what bone are you chewing on right now that you find to be most interesting? What is inspiring the chase in Ross Dellinger right now?
Well, now we hit the off season. I like to tell people that it's kind of like become my season, just with all the off the field sports business sort of related stuff. So, right now, we're at an interesting sort of inflection point in college sports. And it's like it could go one way or the other right now. We could either get a lot of enforcement when it comes to the athlete compensation, right, and the transferring from the College Sports Commission, the new enforcement arm. We could get a lot of enforcement. We could see schools that have already been sent, letters of inquiry about investigations, and or we could see no enforcement at all, right? And it seems like everybody's sort of waiting for the College Sports Commission to start, for somebody to get hit with some kind of enforcement. And T-Bob, we were talking off air about my story a couple of weeks ago involving LSU and the multimedia rights contract and the $3.5 million offer to Brendan Sorsby through its multimedia rights partner, Playfly. And that's gotten a lot of attention. And eventually, that did spark a new sort of guidance sent to schools by the College Sports Commission, because that document wasn't really within the rules, I guess. And look, LSU's not the only one. There's a lot of those. So the question is there going to be at some point some actual investigation that reaches the level of enforcement and penalties, or is it just going to continue the way it is right now?
Yeah, we don't have a leader in this sport, so it's probably going to continue. I wanted to ask about one thing. It happened a little bit with Damon Williams at Washington, at least a thread of it. It looked like it might have happened at Ole Miss with Princely going to LSU, or some things. And now it looks like it might happen with Duke and Darian Mensah. These schools, after contracts are signed, either suing to enforce them or using whatever legal tactics they can to enforce them and everything. And my question is, do you think we're about to go down that road pretty hardcore? And the second question there is, what would a win even look like for a school at that point? Because even if you get the law on your side, you're forcing a guy to play for you who doesn't want to be there. It's just weird. It seems like a no-win situation for schools, and I don't know why you would even want that PR hit. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, I think what's happening is schools, because of what I just talked about, the lack of national enforcement around these rules and penalties, schools are starting to sort of enforce it themselves on an individual school basis. And part of the route to doing that is to sign players under legally, sort of binding documents and enforce those documents. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we saw from the University of Washington, right? They were Damon Williams was obviously courted by LSU. It's pretty widely known, and LSU is going to have to not only pay him, his salary, which would have been, I'm sure the offer was at least $5 million since Damon was making $4 million right now, but they're going to have to buy him out. So they have to pay another $4 million, right?
That's so much.
And then that $4 million was going to have to be reduced next year from LSU's revenue share pool that it has to pay players. So in all, you're talking about like somewhere around like over $10 million, right? If you include the rev share hit as well, which is probably why that didn't happen, right? That's probably why that did not go through. And perhaps that may happen with the Darian Mensah one. It doesn't appear that he's going to stay, but you're talking about probably, it depends on what Duke is asking Miami for, which right now they're not asking for anything, right? They're just saying we don't want to settle at all. We're going to keep you to your contract and hold you to your contract, which means for now he's not in the portal officially, and he may not be able to play for Miami if Duke legally holds him to his contract. Now, Brandon, to your point, it'd be hard to see a player like that who doesn't want to be there going back.
Yeah.
That would be difficult to see happen. We saw it with Damon.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to have to be some repairing relationships with the staff at Washington and his teammates and all that stuff. That's going to be, it's sort of like a fascinating new world. T-Bob asked about what I'm chasing or what's most interesting to me. It's all of this because it's all very new and historic in college football.
Yeah, it's interesting. We talked to Brock Heward, who obviously is plugged in to all things Washington up there in the Pacific Northwest, and he referenced that exactly, that it's very awkward for Damon right now. That even though Jed Fish, you're always trying to take another job. So, like, you get the hell out of here. But, like the boosters, like leadership, his teammates, yeah, you got to kind of earn their trust again over time. You mentioned the enforcement committee, Ross. Do they have, very simple question, do they have any ability to enforce? Do they have any legal standing? Because every time right now the NCAA seems to get challenged in court, they fold. And they don't really have a leg to stand on. So, like, could the enforcement committee even enforce?
Yeah, well, I mean, so as part of this lawsuit, right, the House settlement that ushered in the revenue share for players, for schools to directly pay players, as part of that, there's a new enforcement committee outside of the NCAA created called the College Sports Commission, and it was supposed to have, it is supposed to have a little more enforcement power. It has the sort of power of a federal injunction behind it. That's what the lawsuit, the settlement is. It's a federal injunction approved by a federal judge. But we're 6-7 months in, so it's still early. But obviously there's a lot of sort of tampering going on. Now, College Sports Commission folks say that tampering specifically, that rule violation is an NCAA rule. So there's like things that are still under the old NCAA, and there's things under the College Sports Commission's control.
This is a disaster.
Right? So tampering is supposed to be under NCAA, right? And all this other stuff of policing the cap and the revenue share and circumvention of the cap is supposed to be under the College Sports Commission. You can imagine you've got two entities sort of trying to work together, each sort of with enforcement power. It's like having two popes or two presidents, right? Probably not great.
I just don't have a question here. I just want to say I hated everything you just said. I hated every word that came out of your mouth. It was all boring, bureaucratic, nonsensical drivel that needs to get out of my sport. I just want to go back to where we can give a guy a Dodge Charger and he plays for us for 3 years. Can we get back to that?
No, I mean, look, but now the player. No, I don't know. We just need.
I want the Alabama parking lot looking like a Dodge dealership. That's. We used to be a proper society.
I just think. I mean, we all this to me. I hear Ross's answer, and it's like, again, to your point, but we just need leadership. Like we need somebody who's actually in control of the sport, whether that's an individual.
And I appreciate that, T-Bob, but I have a job.
Well, you're the number one college football sports media personality. Media, though.
Yeah.
You know, you can't trust you with any actual
I'm sure Ross
responsibilities.
That stuff.
Well, Ross is
So
a
I will
real
say,
journalist.
T-Bob.
Yeah.
There's discussion. This will get you, Brandon. This will get you excited.
Good.
There is discussion in Congress with a lot of very important people to modify a piece of legislation for college sports that would include sort of oversight from one like commissioner type for each of the sports potentially. They would each have maybe sort of like one leader, one commissioner to make a lot of decisions. Now that commissioner or something would like report to a board, but there is a thought to weave into congressional legislation some kind of new oversight model where you would have something like a Roger Goodell NFL type model. And that is what I think a lot of people believe college sports needs, because right now, to your point, it's just fractured, right? Each conference commissioner basically is out for their own conference, right? Each athletic director or president is out for their own school. Everybody is thinking about their own self-interest, which we can all understand.
Yeah, it's normal.
But we need one person, right? We need one person to make a lot of these decisions. And I think maybe we're going to get there. I mean, relying on Congress probably isn't the smartest thing because they can't really, so far they can't really handle their own like duties, let alone their.
I mean, surely they can still do something about college sports, though. Like, I know the executive branch steamrolls them and they have their feckless, but like, if they can't control college football, then I mean, what are we doing, dude? Anyway. It is now time. And Ross, I want your reaction to this as well, so you're not going anywhere. A great national championship of the night. It is time for Brandon Walker's top 5 college football national championships of the college football playoff era.
Here? Now?
Yeah.
I have a share segment with Ross Dellinger?
Yes.
I don't even get my own segment around here? Okay.
Nope.
All right. We've had, 11 years now of the 4-team playoff, so I was just doing this. The 5 best national championship games of the 4-team playoff. Number 5, of course, I believe, and I'll have to see it up there right now, it is 2024. This is really a 4-game list because this wasn't a great game last year.
Yeah, it kind of speaks to
Ohio State 34, Notre Dame 23. There's other games like Georgia, Alabama a couple years ago with the pick 6 late was probably a better game, but it's really a 4-team list, but nobody makes top 4s. I made top 5. So number 4 is Clemson, Alabama 2015. This was the onside kick game where Nick Saban did the onside kick. It was the first of a couple of classic Alabama-Clemson games. It was great. It was awesome. Went down to the wire, and it showed Nick Saban could be creative and be awesome and come up with an advantage in the onside kick game. Number 3 happened the other night. It was Monday night, Indiana 27, Miami 21. It wasn't the most beautiful. It wasn't an oil painting for the first half. But in the second half, once the offenses got under themselves, they were able to go. Indiana holds them off. Number 2, another Alabama-Clemson game. This is where Hunter Renfrow caught the ball 35-31. Deshaun Watson to Hunter Renfrow. Was it a pick play? Yeah. Who cares? Alabama got beat. That was delicious. And it was Clemson 35, Alabama 31. And number 1 in the playoff era, Alabama, Georgia in Atlanta. Tua Tagovailoa comes off the bench, 2nd and 26, 26-23. Those are your top 5 championship games of the playoff era.
Ross, do you have any memories or any interesting anecdotes that stand up from any of these games?
Well, I mean, number 1 is just incredible, right? That game, that throw at that moment in time was, I mean, perhaps when in the history of college football, I don't know that we've seen something for like a moment in time that was as good as that off the bench. Tagovailoa coming off the bench is just phenomenal. Obviously I covered the game a couple nights ago. It was back and forth, right? That second half was incredible. And just to see Indiana, I'm sure you guys have talked about this a lot, but like Indiana football win it all. It's just still hard to wrap my mind around. And the fact that they outnumbered Miami fans in Miami probably close to 2-1. It was probably 65-70% Indiana fans. It was just incredible to see.
Yeah, shout out our good friend Brody Miller, Ross, Indiana alum. Would have never guessed, but
Who the hell is Brody Miller?
he used to write for The Athletic, he used to write for LSU. We did podcasts together. I love Brody. Brody's the man. Now covers PGA for The Athletic.
Okay, well, hopefully he's one of our 24 viewers.
He is one of our 24 viewers. Shout out Brody. Ross, so we mentioned Indiana, and one of the things that we've really been exploring and enjoying doing has been trying to figure out best practices with each additional year of data that we're getting. And there's a graphic that came out the other day, or Connor made a graphic here on our show, and it's about roster construction. And put it up here, guys, because it's the percentage of high school recruits versus transfers that were brought in for all of these playoff teams. And you're starting to see some interesting trends where it's looking like the more effective path to winning big may be relying on transfers more. I mean, look at this. Look, you got Indiana and Ole Miss there using the most, A&M, Miami, like the teams that were kind of most disappointing in a lot of ways, with the teams still relying on starters. And your conversation with coaches and decision makers, where are they at with this push and pull between where do we allocate our resources?
Yeah, this graphic and the whole roster construction, different roster construction that's going around in the athletic administrator world, and I think it has people sort of maybe second guessing how they construct a roster. I remember, T-Bub, when the transfer portal got loosened up where players could move around at a significant rate, 3-4 years ago. I remember having a conversation with, then he was the AFC executive director of the Coaches Association, Todd Berry, and he predicted that basically your group of 6 programs will become a feeder system for the power leagues. Yeah. And the lower level power league programs will become a feeder system for the top 10 to 15 blue bloods. And I think that is exactly what's happened. We have seen that completely happen. Look at what Indiana did specifically with Curt Signetti going from JMU and taking, I think it was 25 players from JMU over to Indiana. That doesn't happen 5 years ago, right? You can't do that. We're seeing it now with Matt Campbell from Iowa State to Penn State. So we've seen it. Those are 2 really good examples, right? G6 to P4, lower level, maybe a lower resource P4 to one of the sort of blue bloods in the Big Ten. Like, we're going to see that continuing to happen. And I think you're going to see that as Alabama. You had on the screen, Georgia is number 1, and there was Texas, Alabama,
Ohio State,
all those schools that often do high school recruiting and lean on high school recruiting. I think we're going to see them more and more get into the portal more and more and more and get older players, because I think most coaches would tell you that you older is better, right? You need to get older players. Yeah. Now, some of those schools I think will still recruit high schools to a degree as their foundation, but every year 12 to 15 to 20 plugging in here and there older players and seasoned players where they can, I think going to continue to happen. Now, the bad part of that is the high school recruiting, right? You're going to have high school players who used to sign with the blue blood types, right? Who now are going to have to drop down probably because those schools are going out and getting older players from, the G6 or the lower level power conference schools. Now that opens up spots for those high school players, but I think you'll start to see that. It's not slowing down, right, is my point. You're going to see, I think, the portal and the use of the portal and the construction of a team. I don't think anybody's going to be where Georgia is ever right now, 90% high school, 95% high school. I think you're going to see most schools be in the 70% range, 60 to 70% range.
Ross Dellinger, Yahoo Sports, college football insider, does incredible work, a true journalist through and through. Ross, thank you so much for waking up this morning. Enjoy Miami Beach.
Yeah, take a couple days off, Ross.
Yeah, hopefully the weather gets better. Enjoy your season, the off season.
Thanks,
here,
guys.
Ross.
Appreciate it.
All right, take it easy, brother.
Meanwhile, it's -6 degrees here.
Exploding trees.
Floating trees. Oh, I love the cold weather. All right, coming up next, guys.
No, you don't.
I legitimately do.
I
It's
do.
awesome.
I'm with you,
Every
T-Bob.
morning I see that blanket of snow outside my house and I get a little tiffle of excitement. I don't know what that means. NFL next. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. Hey, if you want to be involved in the show, you can ask us a question by going on Twitter using the hashtag Ask WUB. And it can be about anything, guys. And we'll get to it at the end of the show. Right now, before we get to NFL talk, we have an alleged video of an exploding tree.
No.
Yeah. Let's see. Allegedly, I want to see the force with
I don't think it's going to explode
tree am I
like you
watching?
think it's.
Oh!
Bro, that's a pretty forceful explosion, guys.
Let's see that again.
I think that was a loaded. I don't know if that was a tree exploding on its own.
Why
I
not?
think somebody exploded a tree there. That's not what they look like, is it?
Again, it's alleged, but I thought it would be a living tree.
I don't think the
Is that
tree's
a
going to
stump?
sue us. We don't have to say alleged.
Well, but what if it's not a? What if it's not an? What if
That
it's
happened
not
at the
exploding
base.
tree?
I think somebody blew that tree up.
I don't know the conditions.
By the way, it's going to be cold this weekend. Did you pay your gas bill this month?
I did pay my gas bill this month, thankfully.
Wow,
They're
good
not
for
going to
you.
shut off my
Well done.
gas again.
Welcome to adulthood.
I'm still a little worried about a couple other bills that I'm not sure if I set up accounts for or not, but I guess we'll kind of find out if they shut the power or water off, you know.
Yeah.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I feel like that could kill you from shrapnel.
It could. 100%.
All right, let's get to some NFL
don't
news,
know
guys.
that.
Yeah, it could. Allegedly, it could. 100% allegedly. All right, let's get to some news. Did y'all see the Baker Mayfield tweet?
Yes.
I did, yes. Baker
Yeah,
Mayfield.
so D. Orlando Ledbetter, who writes for the AJC, covers the Atlanta Falcons, was writing a story on Kevin Stefanski. And within the tweet and the story, he called Baker Mayfield a failure. And, well, throw it up on the screen, but Baker Mayfield quote tweets that. And, well, I said throw it up on the screen because I actually don't have it in my notes. So, I brought up the story. I meant to have it.
The attention to detail that sets this place apart.
No, I
Throw
meant
the
to have
exploding
it.
tree back up.
I meant to have it. I thought
Scott
I did the
Van Pelt's over
notes.
here saying, guys, do we have
We're
the
supposed to
tweet?
talk about it. Okay,
we got
thank you. Failed is quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on getting a text/call from him, meaning Stefanski, after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach.
It was implied in the original tweet that the Browns lost back then because they had a Baker Mayfield problem, when the reality is Baker Mayfield had a Browns problem.
That seems to be, well, I was going to ask, is that our accepted view of the events nowadays?
If a quarterback fails at the Browns,
Yeah.
I think my natural inclination is to say, let's see that quarterback with a competent organization and see
That's
if he's
fair.
an actual failure.
That's
Because
fair.
Baker Mayfield has proven he is not a failure of an NFL quarterback. He is a good NFL quarterback.
Well, he got lumped in too with Deshaun Watson there as like, you know, they
They said Baker
failure of
Mayfield
like
and
these
Deshaun
are two
Watson.
very different situations. Baker Mayfield led him to a playoff game. Like
It won a playoff game.
Yeah, won a playoff game. So I don't understand at all.
Got community noted, as you can see here as well. Now, I did find one kind of ironic piece of information, which was either Browns fan or writer pointing out, or maybe at the time, that Baker was actively bad in fourth quarters, both injured and uninjured, which I find to be a bit funny because now we think about Baker and it's like, I mean, that's his strength. How about this, though? How do we feel about Baker after the implosion of this season? Because it was MVP, he was awesome,
He was hot in the
great,
streets.
and that team fell off hard.
Everybody got hurt.
Yeah,
That
I
whole
agree.
team
I agree.
got hurt.
That's where I'm at. I just want to test
Yeah,
the
I
room
think
here.
Baker's shown enough in Tampa for us to realize he is a good, solid NFL quarterback. I know he's not great, he's not the best, but he's certainly not the reason Cleveland didn't work out when he was there.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to blame either of these guys in the situation. I am with you, where I would just blame the Cleveland Browns organization more so.
Well, Jay Glazer came on yesterday and he's like, what's the one year the Browns won? 2020. Why? The owners weren't allowed in the building. It was like only the football people.
Maybe.
All right, so look, the real bottom line here is I now can't wait to see these matchups. Like, I am now extra excited for Tampa, Atlanta, both going to want to prove the other wrong. Some other massive news, or it feels massive to me. I don't know if it feels massive to y'all. It looks like Mike McDaniel is going to be the Chargers offensive coordinator. And this is interesting because McDaniel is still a very viable candidate for a lot of head coaching jobs.
Yeah.
So this is him kind of willing to take a step back. And look, I kind of believe in the offensive prowess of Mike McDaniel. I think he's maybe the best rushing mind we have in the NFL. You're now giving him Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
and maybe a little better health of that Chargers O-line and the Harbaugh philosophy, like, I think this is a home run if I'm a Chargers fan.
I also think we've seen a lot of recent guys who failed as head coaches, Saleh, Flores, that get back to their coordinator roots and really thrive.
Yeah, they're great again, yeah.
And there's something to be said for being an offensive guy and being comfortable being an offensive guy. Like, he had some interviews to be another head coach, and then he chose this spot to be the Chargers OC. I think going under Harbaugh and not having the pressure on you is exactly what this guy needs.
It also is the one job that guarantees you get to work with an MVP level quarterback besides the Ravens.
Yeah, well, and the Bills.
Sure, yeah. Bills
So 3 jobs. Actually, a shocking amount of jobs with great quarterbacks.
With MVP level quarterbacks, yes. But I don't know. The Mike McDaniel thing is very interesting to me because he is an elite offensive coordinator, elite in the run game. I'm going to have a hard time feeling bad for Justin Herbert if it doesn't work out this year.
Yeah.
As KB has pointed out, he's got everything, and now he's got the super nerd computer guy backing him up too. So
throw another under the Herbert pile here.
Yeah.
How are you, KB, as our resident Justin Herbert expert and admirer? How did you feel about how it ended for him this year?
I think it's just so hard to be a complete NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
How many go through a full season, 17 regular season games plus however many playoffs, and don't perform at a level that is extremely disappointing?
Yeah.
How many?
Not many.
No, it's fair. It's like at any given time, there's 10 human beings on the planet that do the job well enough to where their fan base is majority behind them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, it's brutal.
If you can have 6 great games and 5 decent games, then you're at the top of your craft almost.
Yeah. It's
but if you have one horrible game, then
C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's
you're nothing.
He was horrible the other day.
You're a bum.
We basically have him retired now.
Yeah.
Well,
he kind of looks like Charlie Batch to me. Just like get him out of here.
Shout out Charlie Batch.
I will say this too, McDaniel. God, it's got to feel good going from Tua to Herbert.
Yeah.
And Brandon, you can maybe weigh in there as our Dolphins fan. I don't want to get to you about Halfley in a second, but I do feel like that's a big upgrade for McDaniel.
It is. Listen, the Dolphins had that choice, right? Didn't Tua go 5 and Herbert go 6 or something like that?
Oh, is that right?
The Dolphins had that choice, and they chose wrong that many years ago. How much of this is just Mike McDaniel doesn't want to change his wardrobe? He's gotten used to hiking up his.
He can do that in LA.
He dresses like a West Coast guy.
Yeah, sure. All that style carry over perfectly.
And this is how old I am because I kept telling myself, "Wow, he's going from Miami to San Diego. What a great opportunity for him."
They'll never be the LA Chargers to me either. All right. Speaking of, so for those that don't know, Brandon, not satisfied with the masochism that comes from being a Mississippi State fan, also is a Miami Dolphins fan.
Sure.
And as a resident Dolphins expert, how do you feel about Jeff Halfley, Packers DC, being hired as head coach?
Well, I am also the #1 college football media personality in the world. Mm-hmm. And if you remember a couple years ago, Jeff Halfley was a very lukewarm, underwhelming head coach at Boston College.
Yeah.
And there was nothing there to say where I was like, I called my friends, hey, this Boston College guy, I hope we get him to the Dolphins one day. But again, he gets to the NFL. Some guys are coordinators, some guys are head coaches. Some guys are college guys, some guys are pro guys. This is a pro guy.
He seems to have a lot of motion in pro circles in terms of being like, this guy's really sharp.
He was outstanding at Green Bay. And the one thing the Dolphins need more than anything is toughness and grit and punch you in the face. They have not had that. They have been a finesse bitch team. That's what they've been. I'll just say, I thought about not saying it, but that's what they've been. They've been a finesse bitch team. Now it's time to get rid of that. It's time to be a tough team.
Change the colors, maybe. Maybe we change the color of the Dolphins.
They are kind of finesse colors.
They're finesse colors, but what are you gonna do? You can't move out of Miami. They're also iconic colors. You can't make those colors tough.
Why not?
Go back to the old logo. Go back to the old logo. Make it better.
That was not a dolphin. Did you think that was a dolphin? That's a giraffe or something.
We could make this look way
That's not
cooler.
a dolphin at all.
The Sharks have similar colors, and they have the old school throwback Sharks is like tough.
Connor, give him a dolphin. Hey, listen, this is a dolphin.
No, I can't do it.
Guys,
I can't do it. You put me on the spot.
I feel like my dolphin was better than that.
No, that's a seal. That's a seal, Ebo.
Shout out Flipper. Other coaching hirings in the NFL. Titans hire Robert Saleh. It's funny that you mentioned, like, okay, if we're looking at quarterbacks, we're looking at Cleveland. Of course, I'm going to judge Cleveland, not the quarterback. It seems like the Jets have also taken on that mantle in all things, quarterbacks and head coaches, apparently, because this took Robert Saleh no time at all to get back to the head coaching mountaintop.
Yeah, well, I think that there's just, like you just said, there's organizations in this sport when people fail there, you take a step back and you're like, well, nobody succeeds there. Nobody succeeds as Jets coach. But again, the Titans over the last 15 years since Jeff Fisher have kind of become that too.
I can't believe the Titans had Mike Vrabel. Got rid of him. Like, you want to talk about organizational incompetence, short-sightedness, a lack of stick-to-itness. I would be furious if I'm a Titans coach. But I don't know.
Hopefully he knows the catch rule, unlike the last guy.
But this is another thing that I feel like for so long, everybody's looking for the hot new offensive coordinator, the hot new offensive mind. It seems like it's flipping back towards defense a little bit, or we're just saying, I'm going to find the hot mind regardless. Doesn't matter which side of the ball he's on.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of with you, man. I feel like defense has punched back this year.
Seattle guy's a defense guy, right?
Oh yeah. He is how we've been framing it on this show is, and I've confirmed this with people that know way more football than me, he's basically like the Sean McVay of defense. Like, don't get me wrong, Seattle has dudes. Like, him and Warrior, like, they have absolute dudes, but whereas the Texans, like, don't blitz, their Seattle system super schemy and complicated. It just puts you in an absolute bind. All right, last question here before we go to break, guys. Bills open, Ravens open. What's the better job?
The Bills.
It does seem to be.
No, I think it's definitely.
I would say that Brandon Beane has such a track record of missing on draft picks and being a pretty bad GM and building through the draft that I would not want to tie.
Well, now he's president. Now he's president of football.
I would not want to tie myself to him.
That's it.
I think you're basically asking me what's the better, Friday night chill at home food, like a delicious pizza or great bacon cheese.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
They're both fantastic here. I just think Bills opening that new stadium, their window is still, I think it's still confirmed open. The Ravens, something feels like it's a little more close, but maybe I'm just stupid.
I also think, though, the fact that the Patriots have now risen up in the AFC East, and they're going to be a problem with Vrabel and with
the East is still easier than the North, though, bro. You still have the Jets. You still have the Jets and Dolphins.
Browns,
Bengals. Browns, yeah. Well, the Bengals
and Bengals are just as bad as the Jets and Dolphins.
The Bengals just played for a Super Bowl. They got Joe Burrow.
They're approaching
Joe Burrow had one decent season where he stayed healthy. Joe Burrow went to one Super Bowl. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm scared of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's going to play 6 games every year.
Yeah, but I'm more scared of Joe Burrow than I am the Jets or the Dolphins. And even the Browns have Myles Garrett and an incredible defense and Shadur.
He's 31 years old.
Shadur.
What? What's wrong with Shadur?
Shadur is not the quarterback going forward of the Cleveland Browns.
Obviously, you don't understand perfect timing. Everything had to happen for a reason to leave Shadur to Cleveland.
All right. What are we doing?
Shadussy.
Stop that.
Shadussy. All right, coming up next, we got Mikail Kamara coming up, national champion live.
Show you basketball.
Oops. Sorry, y'all. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool here on FS1, guys. Could not be more excited for this. This is a player that I've really enjoyed watching over the last couple of years. A player who has been the cornerstone of the unbelievable Indiana Revolution that we keep breaking down, and that is Mikail Kamara, feared pass rusher. You saw the big pump block in the Natty. Mikail, what's up, man? Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man.
So there's a million different things to talk about here because you are one of the premier JMU transfers, kind of one of the biggest names. Again, like I said, leading the rise of Indiana. But first, I want to start with you individually. You now sit here with a national championship hat on your head. You made the play, all these things. Be honest with me. When you committed to JMU back in the day, was there ever a thought that this is how your story could end?
When I committed to JMU was an FCS program at the time. So I thought the highest that I was going to get was a FCS championship. That was really the reason why I came, because they won FCS championships. They always made it. I was like, that was going to probably be the best day of my life is if we win a FCS championship, and now we're winning the Natty.
I mean, it's unreal. And not only winning the Natty, defensive MVP, and you made the play. Like, you made the play that ends up defining the game with the punt block for a touchdown. Going into that play, was there a call, or did you have an inkling? Had y'all seen something on film, or was that just in the moment, it just came together?
So there was a punt, because we're on defensive safe, so we're not really technically supposed to go out there and block it. But the punt before, I kind of rushed kind of lazily, and I was kind of close. So Ratcliffe, 91, before the punt block, he was like, bro, go get it. And I gave him like a head nod, and I just took off the ball and then just put my hand out, reached, and I heard the double thud. And I was like, and then I seen Isaiah go and recover it, and I was lit. I was just lit.
Wait, that's insane, because it was punt safe. Yeah, like, you should have been on there.
At the same time, though, like, you block it and you're there to recover it, and he kind of sneaks in front of you and grabs your touchdown. He could have let you have the touchdown, too.
I definitely wanted it for sure. But just watching him, I was ready to go to the sideline and start celebrating with the boys.
Dude, that is, I kind of love the fact, too, so you played possum the first punt rush to set up the second one. Well, okay, let's again, all we've done is talk Indiana all week, rightfully so. It's probably it's the craziest college football story ever. It's probably one of the craziest stories of our time. And Kurt Signetti is at the center of a lot of it. And obviously, you committed to that man at JMU. You came over with him. I'm sure you've answered a million of these. But when you think about Coach Sig, as someone who's experienced it firsthand for years now, what do you think is unique about him? Or like, what traits does he have that have led to this rise and this level of success?
I think the two biggest things that I've seen with him, and then especially like the little stint, like spring that we had, the first spring at Indiana, was I think he recruits guys with like high character and guys who love football. So I think everyone in the locker room is like-minded and loves the game the same amount. So I think that's one when it comes to his recruiting. And then second, when it comes to his like leadership, he motivates you in ways that you might not like, but he makes you really like love the game. He makes you just understand the mindset that it takes to be a winner. Whether he's cussing you out, whether he's yelling at you, whether he's praising you, he does whatever it takes to make sure to bring the absolute best out of you.
So I've heard that your practices there at Indiana, and I'm sure at JMU too, are, he's not making you guys kill each other in practice. You're not having these long 3-hour marathons. You're having shorter practices. I've never known if this is true or not. And if it is true, how awesome is that?
So, I mean, I've never experienced otherwise. So this is kind of my only experience of college football. But yeah, our practices are usually an hour and a half, hour 45.
Good God.
But it's like, it's business. So we all, and that's the other mindset that he instills. When we get to the facilities, it's time to go play ball. We have a lot of characters on this team, a lot of characters. So we kind of understand how to have fun and enjoy the time together. But when it's time to play football, when it's time to be in meetings, we know how to lock in.
Well, we have, listen, I know you're at Indiana now, a big, huge institution of higher learning. You used to be at a much smaller school with much worse fans. So I guess I'll let the guy to my right ask you a question, because apparently you got JMU ties too?
Yeah, I got my shot. Go Dukes, right?
Go Dukes.
Still go Dukes, right?
Still go Dukes.
Yeah, I admittedly was a bit bitter when you all left, but now I'm very happy for all you guys. It was very cool to see all 6 of the JMU transfers standing up on the stage the moment Coach Signetti lifted the trophy. I'm curious. So you, Aiden Fisher, and Tyreek Tucker, all 0-star recruits out of Virginia. Maybe under-recruited. Not a lot of people believed in you. When did you guys believe that you could win an FBS national championship? Because it is a big jump.
Yeah, it's a good point.
To be honest, so last year for us, we kind of learned individually that we could compete at this level. So I think that the turning point was when we played Maryland. That was like a huge game last year. And then when we beat Michigan at home, those were just huge moments. And then we just learned a lot from the Ohio State loss and the Notre Dame loss to just kind of understand how big those moments were, and then how to play on the road. So this year, the first test was Iowa. That was a huge game on the road. And that's kind of when we started to understand the identity of the team. Then we go play Oregon and that's when we're like, okay, like we can play, like we can dominate this Big Ten. And then that Penn State game, man, shout out Omar Cooper, bro, for the catch. But that Penn State game was a lot of resilience. Penn State was a physical ball club, and they didn't want to quit. So winning that game was when I realized that the type of players, the type of talent, and the type of grit that this team had. And then just going forward, it was just one game at a time. And then we beat Bama, beat the SEC team, and that was unreal in the Rose Bowl. And then after that, it was smooth sailing.
Hey, Mikail, Penn State fan here. Thank you very much for bringing that one up.
How about you?
In length. I'm dying to hear about the reception that you guys have got. We were talking a little bit in the break about just when you guys got back to Bloomington and everything like that. Since the end of the game Monday night, what has life been like? Have you taken that hat off? Are you just soaking this all in? What's the Bloomington fan base and campus looking like right now?
Bro, this hat, and then I got the natty shirt on. These two things have not come off my body since I got it from off the field. But it's been something I can't even really imagine. I can't really put into words. Like that video right there.
Oh wow! Look at everybody on the bridge.
Yeah, seeing the fans on the bridge coming back from the airport was like surreal. It was like that's something that you see in movies. Like that's not supposed to happen to you like in person. But like the fans are Indiana, man. Bloomington is beautiful, and the fans are amazing.
Yeah, one of the coolest parts has been there's a picture circulating, Mikail, of y'all's first game in the Signetti era at home. And sparse is even overdoing it. Like, it looks like there's like 50 people there. And now you're going into Miami and putting like 70% of the stadium with it's unreal. I want to ask you this though, because anytime you have stories like this, to talk about them, we tend to kind of reduce and distill them into tiny bites. And so everything becomes like Signetti. What are some other coaches on this staff that you think are a bit unheralded or had a major impact on you or the team that haven't really gotten talked about or the shine that they maybe deserve?
The first one goes to Derek Owens. That's the head strength coach who, unfortunately, now he's going to be the head strength coach of Tennessee. But he's pretty much like Sig is the head coach of the team. Yep. But when it comes to the players, it's really, really D.O. He sets the standard. He's with us, 24/7. Like he's with us year round. And he just sets the tone for how this program is supposed to be run. So I really tip a lot of hat to him. And then my two position coaches, Coach Kuntz, who was with me at JMU, huge motivator, great coach. And then my defensive end coach, Coach Buddha. Those guys just instilled a lot of confidence in me, a lot of technique into me, and I'm grateful for them. And then obviously defensive coordinator, Coach Haynes, master scheme. And then one of the unsung guys, I think, is Coach Kane, who's our special teams coordinator. I mean, with all the block punts, all the things that we do, it all starts with him. And he really just instills this different mindset that it takes to win. Like, not a lot of guys want to play special teams, but when it comes to guys like in Indiana, like we take huge pride in playing special teams, and he really sets that standard.
So I think I've been told by production, Mikail, that we have a photo of the stadium. So this is the first game in the Signetti era here. And wait, is this right? Was this a 4 overtime game against Akron?
No, that's not. That wasn't our team.
Okay.
That's old Indiana.
Oh, okay. That makes a bit more sense. Yeah, that makes a bit more sense. Good God, look at that, man. What's it like to see where that what does it mean to you to see where that crowd was when you started versus where it is now as you've left?
I just know that first game, I realized I was kind of questioning. I was like, is this the right decision that I made? Like, I'm coming here to Indiana, no one's really supporting us. Even me in class, like some of my the old teammates, they didn't want to wear like the Indiana football gear to class because they didn't want to be embarrassed. And I'm like, this is something I've never experienced before. Like, I'm not a loser. Like in high school, I won a lot. In college, I won a lot, and I was like, I'm not going to become a loser now. But to see where the program has come and the fan support, like we kept on saying, it's a sleeping giant. They were just waiting for wins and success, and we're here now.
And the giant has officially awoken, and you are indeed, Mikail, not a loser. About as certified not a loser you could possibly get. Championship game, defensive MVP, legend, Mikail. Thank you so much, man. Enjoy this. Thank you for waking up with us.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, man. Mikail Kamara. Go Dukes. Go Hoosiers.
Go Dukes.
All right, coming up next, Ask WUB to close out the show. Get on Twitter, hashtag Ask WUB, and we'll answer the best questions next. How's that for a shot? Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool here on FS1. It's time for a little Ask WUB. Every day, get on Twitter, hashtag Ask WUB. We'll get to the best ones here. It can be about anything. Production, what do we got here? We don't see these ahead of time. Steven wants to know Ebo's thoughts on the Mets-White Sox trade. We were going to get to it, but we didn't have enough time.
Yeah, I like Luis Robert. I think it's a good opportunity to shake the White Sox stink off of him. But yeah, it doesn't move me the way that the Mets offseason should have been moving.
I'm buying my jacket for the jacket off right now.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah, dude. I can't wait for that. Look out for that next Wednesday. All right, what do we got next? Wahoo's, this is Wahoo says, BFW, who wins Royal Rumble?
Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins wins the Royal Rumble this year. That's what I believe. Seth Rollins.
Is there any, if we're not dialed into wrestling, what reason? He's just got motion right now? He's got a little juice to him?
Well, he's been hurt.
Okay.
And he was in a major program when he left. I don't even know if he's going to be healthy, but I think him. Also, watch maybe Chris Jericho.
Oh, what the? Wow.
Yeah.
Women's Royal Rumble. That's also happening.
He's still doing it.
Chelsea Green.
Okay, I've never heard of her. What's next?
Chelsea Green.
But I don't know what
Great.
wrestlers.
She was on Wrestling Watch, right?
Dilf Gang 91. Did Connor ever watch Charlie Batch play football for the Detroit Lions?
I did not, no. I was born in 1999. I don't know what
Wait
year.
a second. Where did he play college ball?
No idea. Detroit Lions into Pittsburgh Steelers. That's all I know. I just really. I
was thinking of Rodney Peete. He played baseball.
Okay.
Yeah.
He also married Holly Robinson Peete.
Yeah. No, Rodney Peete did great for himself.
Yeah. Oh, he did very well. Yeah.
She
was hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Who is this?
Holly Robinson Peete.
Hashtag Wake Up Barstool, Ask WUB. Does KB have a hard time avoiding trees as a manlet?
What's a manlet?
What does that mean? That was the Zacchaeus of northern West Virginia. Climbing trees, collecting money, seeing Jesus.
You used to all the time talk about climbing trees.
I love climbing trees. It's cathartic.
KB, have you ever considered all the incredible college football coaches that have West Virginia ties?
I'm very similar to Nick Saban on paper.
Really?
We're both Catholic boys from West Virginia who played sports at Kent State. We got our master's degree from Kent State. We avoided getting shot on campus. And now we're sports analysts on television.
It's true. Probably similar height, maybe, too? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's about 5'6". So I got him by a little bit.
Kurt Signetti, though, went to Morgantown High School.
Yes, Kurt Signetti, yeah.
Jimbo Fisher, I believe, is a West Virginia native as well.
Yeah.
All right, what's up next?
We got one more?
This comes from Chuck Castle.
No.
Can Lane Kiffin be the next Kurt Signetti? Ask WUB. Yes, he is.
No, because he's doing the exact
LSU's going to win the national
Can we revisit
championship.
the Pat Fitzgerald thing? That was crazy earlier in the show.
This is a crazy one.
That's a crazy one.
This one's even crazier. It's just an LSU fan. Hey, T-Bob, give me some attention. Shut up, LSU.
I got you, Chuck. Go Tigers, baby. LSU's going to win the national championship next year. Can't wait. Choo-choo. Lane train's coming, Brando.
Jack it off next week.
It's a jacket competition, guys.